Is it good to buy a track motorcycle and modify it to your needs for touring, or is it good to buy a touring motorcycle and tour on it and later you modify it for your track purpose? What's up YouTube? I have the 2018 Yamaha R3 and I'm completing a trip now, and I have around 30 more kilometers to go to my home, and I think this is the perfect time to talk about this motorcycle. So let's get on to the motorcycle and talk. It's too hot, guys. It's 2:30 in the afternoon and mid of May. Oh, alright, so there is a reason why I told that this is the perfect time to talk about it, because this is the time I'm completing a roughly 600 kilometer trip and coming back to my home. I actually traveled from Bangalore to Wayanad and came back, so many videos are there planned for the R3, and this is the day 2 of my R3 life. Yeah, I was telling that why this is a good time to talk about this, because this is the few last kilometers which I'm gonna reach home, and everyone who go for touring on a motorcycle or even a car will have that last 1 hour rush excitement, that you will somehow want to get into your home, turn on the ceiling fan, lie down on the bed and aram se sleep for some time. So that's the reason why I told this is the best time that my mind will be inching for all these things, and I wanted to talk about this motorcycle. So yeah, let's get into the review. First, let's talk about the ergonomics of this motorcycle. As you can see how I'm sitting, it is not at all sporty, it is slightly sporty. I cannot tell sporty at all because the foot pegs are right below my butt or slightly forward actually. So it's not at all sporty. And you see my body posture. Actually this R3 is none among the other R that you have seen in Yamaha series. This is a sports tourer. If you want me to judge the amount of sportiness that you have on this motorcycle, I'll tell that RC390 is like this, with the most aggressive riding posture. We have the R15 like this. Somewhat further up we have the Apache RR310 like this, the CBR, and now the most comfortable form in the R3. So ergonomics wise, I'm so much impressed with this motorcycle, because today I did a 300 kilometer like that and I came back also, and this is a familiar route for me, so I know where all the places I take stops when I go in my CBR or the Apache RR310 and many other bikes. Today actually the brakes were much lesser. That means I'm able to sit on this motorcycle comfortably for longer time. Even I didn't feel like stopping for the first 200 kilometers at all. I stopped because I wanted to pee, because I started the ride at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock it was slightly cold. So that's one reason I was that feel, and I stopped and I peed. Otherwise I wouldn't have stopped. I would have continued the 300 kilometer like that. Oh, a lorry has crashed, it seems. Shit. Now the second most important thing that you need for a touring motorcycle, the refinement. This motorcycle is bloody refined, okay? I mean, this is some speed which is like a dummy speed for this motorcycle. It's not at all in a power mode. I'm around in 5k RPM, which is nowhere to the power band. The power band kicks in 6k and way go till up to the 12.5k RPM, and no vibration at all to the foot pegs or the handlebars, nothing. It's only the feel that you get out of this motorcycle. Apart from that, no vibration at all. I'll show you how the power band comes. 5th gear, 4th gear, bloody awesome it is. So refinement wise, I'm truly owned by this motorcycle. Now I have a slight disappointment on one thing, which is the luggage carrying capacity of this motorcycle. Basically, it'll be a bit hard for you to tie a normal kind of a saddlebag to this motorcycle because it doesn't have any grab rail at all for the pillion seat. You need to depend on all the bungee cords and all the other cords which is seen on a regular saddlebag and somehow try to tie it up. And you have a plastic tank, that means again the chance of a magnetic tank bag is ruled out, but you can convert a normal tank to a magnetic tank. Next disappointment as a tourer is that the pillion comfort of this motorcycle is not so great. The seat itself is so small. The seat is actually cushioned. It has used the same kind of cushion that is being used in the rider seat itself. But the thing is, it is way too small and a bit high. Upon that, there is no grab rails. So that means for a pillion, it is a bit uncomfortable to sit for a longer period of time. Maybe a city ride is okay, but on a longer ride, I feel this will be a very difficult choice for the rider. Maybe in that case, I will ask you to check the Bentley TNT 300i. Okay, now let's talk about this windshield actually. This windshield actually gives a good amount of wind protection up to a speed of 120, and even in this speed itself, I feel some amount of wind coming onto these portion of chest, because I'll tell you, you see all these cuts, actually if the wind is coming like this, I could feel that. So the wind come like this and it touches this portion. So somehow I'm not so much impressed with this, but always you could tuck down and ride it until I think until 140 you don't have to tuck down itself. Let me just check it. And all the way during the tour, I was cruising at a speed of 110 to 140. As I told, the power band kicks in at 110 in the 6th gear, and it pulls to 140 just like anything. Today, actually, I didn't had any competition from any other car. What I see in the road. The main thing is because I ride alone. That's one thing. So I see many cars around, and some cars I'll have some kind of an unsaid friendship and we keep on moving. So today I was syncing with an Audi, you don't believe it, an Audi Q7, because this was able to catch me with that car. So this has good amount of power in the top end, but the lower rev range is not so punchy because I feel like it's lacking a bit of torque in the low end. But for touring purpose you don't need it. What you need is just aram se you cruise from a speed of 110 to 140. I believe this could even go to 170 easily. I just did 150 or 155, that's all. After that I didn't try today. Okay, the next important thing could be the suspension setup. Previously I told, this is unlike any other R that you have seen from the Yamaha, like the R15 or the R6 or the R1. Actually, the suspension of this motorcycle, especially the front suspension, is way too soft. That is what you need for a long distance touring. I mean, you don't get any kind of pressure on your hands when you ride the motorcycle. Like, see, this road is slightly bumpy and it is soaking up well, but I get that feel of that wave thing, which is not actually good when you do cornering. So back there in the Bandipur forest, it's actually, there are a lot of curves over there, nice curves. So what happened is that, yeah, at some point of time there was some kind of an undulation on the road, so I totally missed the line of curve, but I was able to control it well. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I too to go to places and try their roads and try the awesome guard section or something. There are some people who goes and try the off-road sections. So I am on the other end. I go and ride the roads actually in the new place. So considering me, the cornering ability is okay. I mean, you don't take it as a track bike actually. This is not a track bike. I have one suggestion to all the people who gonna tell that okay, this is less of a track bike. I'll tell you something, since especially this is a highway review. I'll ask you something. You could answer. Is it good to buy a track motorcycle and modify it to your needs for touring, or is it good to buy a touring motorcycle and tour on it and later you modify it for your track purpose? I think that makes more sense, because this is a tourer motorcycle. If you want to take it to the track, you need to work on it a lot. So this is one among the best tourer that you could buy in the twin cylinder. And please don't compare this motorcycle with a single cylinder like an Apache RR310 or a CBR 250R. Just because it is a 2-cylinder, it has its own advantages, and I mean the road presence of this motorcycle is way beyond that you're gonna compare any of the single cylinder that is available. You want to see it? It sounds bloody awesome. This is one of the comfortable speed that you could ride on this motorcycle. Wow man, what an awesome ride. I think I touched 160. I was not concentrating on the dial, then I was concentrating on the road. So until 140 I wasn't required to actually tuck down. Only in the 130s you will get the feel that the wind is touching over here. Then 140s, yeah, you need to start tucking down, and 160, yes, you need to tuck down. As I told you, see, the top end is so good on this motorcycle. It just pulls like anything, and it reached 160, I think, in no time. Actually, if you keep the throttle lock for some more time, it will hit 170 also. So that's it with this touring review of this motorcycle. If you like this video, show some love in the form of likes and comments. And if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, do let me know. I have this motorcycle for some days, and also there is a playlist which is running on the R3. Check it out, you might find some good information over there. So see you in the next video. Goodbye. This horn is the most annoying thing on this motorcycle. The horn doesn't match at all to the character that this motorcycle has. It's almost like a black man having a small penis.